Very good. Hello, welcome back to I've been forced to create this content against my will because I'm a product of capitalism. My name is Liam. I exist on the internet as LT Guitarist, and I've been making stuff for the internet probably longer than a lot of you have been alive. Genuinely. Today I want to talk about a series that we published to this YouTube channel. It was a Stabbed Panda music show. It was one of the first Stabbed Panda music shows. I want to talk to you about pro tips for independent bands. Let me go to this window. And if we scroll to 11 years ago, you can see 11 years ago, this is when I started uploading to this channel. We had done a few, I was thinking of them as internet radio shows. Of course, now you would call it a podcast, but we didn't really have that word, or I didn't really know what it meant back then anyway. Pro Tips for Independent Bands was a series where I and my co-host Simon and me would go back and forth. We would swap hosting duties. We would talk about things that were hard to do in bands, like, what is copyright? What do you do if you get nervous on stage? How do you choose a band name? How do you have artwork? Things like this. We would give tutorials essentially for these band related things. So it was stuff to do with being in a band that wasn't about creating music. And this sort of, at the same time on my channel on LT Guitarist, I was doing a lot of this is how you make music, this is how you play guitar or other instruments type tutorials. So this was kind of a nice complement to that, and it was a subject that I was really interested in, especially 11 years ago. I'd not been long out of music college, so I'd got a lot of big ideas, and we were gonna present these videos, and we would also have in these expert witness interviews, and then those interviews would, I think the plan long term was to integrate bits of those interviews into episodes of Pro Tips. These red thumbnails, that was series 1 of Pro Tips. Series 2 are these blue ones, and this is the color scheme that I really associate with Pro Tips. And I find it really interesting which of these subjects got the most sort of views. Of this first series, it's definitely choosing a band name, 42,000. It still gets views and comments to this day, which is interesting. And things like stage fright and copyright, people sort of aren't so interested in, which I thought was interesting, disheartening, but interesting. I think also part of it is choosing a band name has got a really straightforward title. Oh, you can't actually see the title under my face there. It's just called Choosing a Band Name. So, you know what that video is about, don't you? What else have we got? USP for bands. Now looking back at this, I'm like, well, obviously these videos didn't take off because these titles don't mean anything unless you know what a USP is. You should call this how to make your band unique, or how to stand out, how to make your music stand out, something like that. But hey, we didn't know. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes. Okay, so it was just a nice round number, 10 episodes of series 1. 11 years ago, and then we came to do season 2. We did a bunch of music history videos 8 years ago. So like 3 years later, we eventually come around to doing season 2. Season 2 was a little more produced. We did 1, 2, that was an interview, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 videos. Season 2 is a little more produced. I think I wrote them all, and then got a couple interviews in. Yvette Chivers, Tom Anderson, John Wheeler. Obviously, Tom, we went on to do stuff like Hello Malcolm with Tom. So I think I wrote these ideas. I wrote the videos where we're talking about. Okay, so we interviewed Yvette Chivers, who's a DJ type remix person, basically. We did the interview, and then I used elements of that to inform this Why Remixes Matter video, right? I think Yes, we did the same thing with music videos. That was the full interview, and then that was the content made around it. We must have used new music promotion. That must have been to do with John Wheeler. Hard to say. Yeah, probably. So I got these interviews ready. We filmed the interviews, and then I used those to help write these episodes. So they were basically written en masse, and they were organised. So we had like proper shoot days. You can see I'm wearing the same shirt for a lot of these, but changing the t-shirt. I guess that to fool you into thinking it was across several days. We also would do like sketches and things in there, or we would try to. So I think How to Quit Your Band, which again has quite a few views to this day. How to Quit Your Band starts with a sketch where Cy is talking to Ben about wanting to quit the band, the fictitious band that me and Cy are apparently in this sketch called the Liam Taylor Musical Endeavour. And the intelligent amongst you might know that the musical endeavour is a music project that me and Cy work on. It's my project, and Cy comes in occasionally, and that's where the name came from. Cy just sort of winged it on the day when we were recording this, the Liam Taylor Musical Endeavour, and it stuck. So the whole idea here is that it's a sketch about him wanting to quit the band, not knowing how to do it, and then I am apparently the one to give instructions to Cy on how to quit the band that we're in. I don't know. It was a great idea at the time. That second season ended 7 years ago, so we're talking, oh gosh, maths, 2017, 2018? That sounds right. I really like Pro Tips. I think it's a strong format, and I tried in about 2021 to do more. I wrote a lot of a season, and I did one. And as you can see, this is about press releases as well, which is related to my job now. I didn't have it in me to do any more than this, and this is the period where Jay Plent had come in to start doing the Listen to This series, which ran for a while. I just didn't have it in me to do more pro tips. We filmed quite a lot of stuff, and I remember filming a lot of B-roll. We went to a bunch of gigs and filmed guys playing their instruments for a while to get cool B-roll. We just never got round to doing it. I mean, that's only a minute long. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, so what happened there really was at this time 4 years ago, so the early 2020s, I was, I think, really trying to do LT guitarist stuff, and I felt a bit like Stab Panda was... it was always intended to be more of a collaboration. I didn't want Stab Panda to just be my thing, because I had my thing. It was LT Guitarist. I wanted this to be a collaboration where we could kind of, share the wealth. And that was like, Listen to This was a great example of that, where the YouTube channel was earning money, like it is now. The YouTube channel's earning a bit of money, so I'm quite happy to pay people to go away and make content for this YouTube channel, and I'll manage it. I'm happy to sit there and take the prestige, and I can be the person that grew a YouTube channel to several thousand subscribers. That's fine. I didn't really care about money at that point. But when it came to doing Pro Tips, that was a lot of legwork for me, and I couldn't be bothered unless I knew for sure that the videos would actually get views. It's not like this series, I have been forced to create this content against my will because I'm a product of capitalism, where I'm not worried about views. I, in fact, don't want views. I just want to keep monetization open on this channel. To be brutal about it. So I didn't want to invest time unless I knew it was actually going to get views. So that's kind of why I did this one-off music history video about what is the common practice period. Because videos about that era in music history, they were getting really great views on our channel. Close to 300,000 views there, for example. And that's the re-upload. That's the classroom safe re-upload we were bullied into creating. We'll talk about that at another point. But yeah, we did these music history videos, and some of them really took off. So I knew, actually, I don't have to get a camera out. I just have to use a microphone and get a bunch of assets to animate, and then I can have a video that will get a few more views. I didn't do quite as well, but it still did better than, you know, this one-off pro tips video. I think a series like Pro Tips for Independent Bands has real legs. I think we need stuff like that, because there are plenty of people making how to be in a band style tutorials and content online. They're all selling courses, and I don't necessarily think that's fair. I think you know, music is one of those things that should be available. I don't think that music should be available freely. I think the resources to create music should be available freely. And I think that especially basic stuff like how to get a gig, how to write I think that how to write a press release is a fairly basic thing that a lot of bands don't know how to do. But, you know, if someone wants to fund that, if someone wants to throw money at a new series of Pro Tips for Independent Bands, I will produce it, and it'll be very high quality. And my music network is pretty good now. We could get quite a good variety of voices in there to teach, but like, it's just time and trying to do stuff where I know there's no money in it. Yeah, that's Pro Tips for Independent Bands. That's why the series started. I don't think I said why the series started. The series started because I wanted to start the series. That's all there is to it. That's not complicated. I wanted to make use of this music network I had, and I wanted to create resources, the kind of resources that I would have liked access to when I was playing in bands. That's why I started Pro Tips. It just fizzled because it's hard to make stuff, you know? I wanted to take all of that energy and put that into the LT Guitarist channel because that was mine, and I could take full ownership of it. I wouldn't feel like I had to give any of that money away. I could just pocket it and carry on. That was Pro Tips for Independent Bands. This is and will continue to be, I've been forced to create this content against my will because I'm a product of capitalism. Thanks for your attention. Behave. I don't know.